It don't matter the color of the skin, either woman or man. Just let the case land. It's here, it's in safe hands. This is God work, not a fake plan. Too many kids being found in these lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss V.
Welcome in, everybody.
To the street, a drum to a beat.
Happy Saturday.
This is the place that you wanna be, but all trolls we delete. You better believe. Just so you know we don't go for those.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Please smack that thumbs up as you come in. Drop down in the chat and let me know who's here. We're gonna be going over an interview, y'all. Like a continuance from yesterday.
Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe, Miss V. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you leave a comment too.
What's up? What's up? Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Charlene Green. Happy Saturday. How you doing? Thank you for dropping down in the chat. So I came across this interview, and I'm actually gonna put the link to this lady's channel in the description box. So you will find that at the end of this live stream. And when you go over there, make sure you let her know MTGV Crime Podcast sent you. That's YouTube etiquette. I definitely want her to get the credit for this interview. So this is an interview with the mom of Kimani, her foster sister. And, you know, she said blood couldn't make them no closer. Now, this is Jessa that's going to be talking. The mom did not talk in this interview at all, but it was some new things that I heard. And I want to make sure that y'all hear it too, as well as go check out the rest of the video because I'm not going to play it all. So, we going to start at this mark. And it's kind of, like I said, a continuance from yesterday. Because yesterday we talked about the police report, and if y'all didn't catch that, you can also find a link to the police report as well as the whole playlist for Kimani. Welcome in, Malibu. Thank you for dropping down. How you doing? So, all right, like we gonna get right into it, y'all. I heard a few things that I hadn't heard, and we gonna talk about it. I'm gonna be stopping it along the way. Here we go.
And if you can elaborate on it, please do so.
Wayne, right? Wayne?
Yeah, so I know the name.
Grady, or whatever his name is, Grady, a straight weirdo. Like, she was trying to put us on with him like they supposed to be your nigga, your baby daddy, your so-called baby daddy, Aunty Dorothy. And let him look at us, and then you thought you were just so comfortable to tell us that when y'all was fucking that he said he wanted Kimani to come upstairs and suck his dick. What?
That's what I was going to get to. That it's been said that that's what that son of a bitch said.
Okay, so what that was the video that I played yesterday, and it was a lady, her niece, Dorothy's niece, said that about her boyfriend or whoever's supposed to be living in the house. And so, yeah, I wanted to start with that. She's going to be answering that question and also talking about the time of death, the autopsy, and Dorothy identifying the body and all of this kind of stuff. So I definitely wanted to play this. Let me know if y'all can hear this okay. Hopefully it don't sound muffled or anything like that. I might have to change the device. Welcome in. Thank you so much for dropping down in the chat. Tanya, I see you in the chat. So we're going to get right into it.
And wherever he is caught, he will swallow his motherfucking teeth because the law failed her.
Trigger warning.
And I hate to say that I want to take matters into my own hands myself. They failed her. The day that she went missing, I called the news stations. The day that she went missing, I called the police. I was feeding them the information that they were telling Tierra over the phone, how inconsistent their stories were. I begged them to take her in immediately and get a test done. I begged for polygraphic testing. I begged these son of a bitches, excuse my language, to get an Amber Alert out. You know what they said? These circumstances don't require an Amber Alert. You only meet 2 criteria. There's 4 to meet.
So I wanted to point out that the lady that's talking, her name is Jessica or Jessa. She actually said that, you know, she was in and out of foster care when she was younger, and ironically, her father violated her and did years in prison for it. And she'll talk about that a little bit. But just to let you know, that's just wild that Kimani's mother met another person that dealt with the same thing that her daughter ultimately took her daughter out. And it's really sad.
So you're telling me that you suspect foul play, but you don't think it's time for an Amber Alert? But it was said by one of Kimani's friends at school that Kimani complained that not only was that said, he touched her. I don't know what's truth to that, or she's just saying stuff to get attention. But I'm not downplaying shit at this moment.
And I'm glad she cleared that up, you know.
Nothing.
Did Kimani ever speak of any kind of physical, like big kind of physical harm being done to her from anybody that was in and out the home?
Not to us. She was seldomly allowed to talk to us. She would have to try to call her mom sneakily, like behind Grandma's back. Grandma only tried to extort money out of Tierra. So whenever it was conversations, it was just, you know, her saying she just really wants to come home. She didn't disclose anything to us. And if she did, I'm pretty sure she and everybody else knows how we would have reacted.
Welcome in, Alma. And Charlene said that's a fact. It only takes 2 criteria to put out an Amber Alert. We need an Ebony Alert. It's always something with that Amber Alert, but I know the main thing, they supposed to know what vehicle they left in, and you know, that's one of the main ones that they could because when you get an Amber Alert, what comes across your phone? The license plate number, the situation, when they left, and all of that kind of stuff. So I do know that they need that. But yeah, it just seemed like it never worked out in our favor.
I seen that one of the teachers had posted that Kimani said she hasn't seen her mom in 3 years prior to her just seeing her last weekend. How true is that?
There's some truth to that, but not all, because there were some times where they'll allow, you know, a little here and there. But Tierra did fight really hard. Tierra did beg. Again, Dorothy told her, if you want to see your daughter, you got to send me money. Tierra would send her the money, and then the mongrel would go on to block her.
It's crazy.
I would watch Tierra fall into depressions, and I had to pick her up and remind her that, you know, Kimani's little sister is here. She has to, you know, not let her see her break like this. Moms are super women. We can't be downplayed. We will not let nothing break us, and I'm not going to let nothing break her. So I need you to keep your head leveled and stay focused, because that's the only way we're going to win this case.
I could believe that too, about half of them or 80% of them being the parents that's taking the kid, because it is a lot of that happens.
Kimani was very much close to coming home, but I do think that because they haven't let us see Kimani in 2 years, right? A total of 2 years.
Can you tell the chat, because I have to lock.
Now she said 2 years, and the auntie said that the mother hadn't seen Kimani since her 11th birthday. She hadn't been able to talk to her really either, is the way that I understood it.
The contractors are leaving. Can you let them know about the events and things that you guys have coming up?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
So the lady that's talking is Kimani's mom, Tierra, Kimani's mom, best friend, or they call themselves sisters. She was in foster care too, and her dad actually violated her, but they live together. She lives with Tierra, Kimani's mom.
So, where was I?
Shout out to Bronze. And she was here. She was here on the scene and all of that stuff. But they both live in Cleveland and together.
Tell me, where was I? I just got thrown off. I'm sorry.
Yes, they are. 47, 48.
Oh, I think I was saying about Tierra's custody battle. Yeah, so the 2 years. So we haven't seen her in about a total of 2 years. And so We believe that this was premeditated. They knew what the fuck they were going to do. Excuse my language.
Now, I wanted to say this, that she literally, remember I was saying I feel like it was planned around her birthday. It was a setup. If y'all watched me yesterday, and she's gonna say the same thing. And I didn't know anybody else was thinking like that because I hadn't heard anybody else say it. But with everything happening right around her birthday and the whole mix up and them hating each other, Tierra and her mom, and the whole thing about, oh, I was supposed to get rid of you. She'll get into it, but they're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking with that.
They knew what they were going to do. They knew what they were going to do because out of nowhere, in 2 years, you let her come over here. So now I'm looking at it as, and other people are too, let's let her see mom one more time before we do what we have planned.
Bam.
It is gut-wrenching. It is heartbreaking. And she should be celebrating her birthday here with us tomorrow. We should not be having a birthday celebration at the park. So anyone in Ohio or in the surrounding areas that wants to come, we are asking everyone nationwide to turn on their red lights, as it was Kimani's favorite color, red or purple, your choice.
So this was actually recorded on March 27th, one day before her birthday. This is the cake that they had at the park, and that's the event that she's talking about.
Red was Kimani's color, so we do prefer red. T-shirts are being handed out to family and friends of Kimani and those who were out there searching for her as well. So there will be a big cookout, a big party in the park for her. We're going to celebrate her life as if she was still here, to show her that we don't want to remember her, how we found her, but by celebrating her life and doing the things that she loved to do. So, football tag, basketball, we are asking all of the community, for each individual that attends, to bring a basketball.
Please hit the thumbs up, y'all, as you come into the building. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do. And subscribe to the channel, set all notifications so you know every time I go live, because I am local and I am boots on the ground. So please make sure you link and set your notifications. We are following this to the end.
Inside of the basketball court, we are going to spell her name and do a little candle lighting in there as well. We do want everyone to sign their name on the basketballs. We will be donating those balls either to the community for the kids to play with or to the schools as well. There will be car shows, so if anyone that wants to show up that has a nice car or a street car that they done hooked up and they want to show up and show out for her, feel free to pull up. I will post the details of the location on my page. I'll put it as a post, so nobody misses it if I put it on a status. I will also share it with Maisha.
So somebody in the chat said they also saw that Dorothy was giving Kimani a big party tomorrow, and her mom's supposed to come.
Dorothy wasn't giving her no big party. My sister gave the money for it.
So is this the event you guys are talking about?
No. So now that since that has been canceled, they were also going to do another event.
So when she say her sister, she's talking about Tierra, the mom of Kimani.
Where they are asking for donations to buy more tickets to go to the skating rink, since Kimani did love skating as well.
I saw that.
So yes, that is going to be done after. Yes. Okay.
So the thing with Dorothy is not a thing. I seen somebody in the comments ask, could we do something? Can we have an internet party? I did already ask if it was okay if we can do like a balloon release for her, and she let me know that it was fine for us to do that. Once we are done talking to the aunt, I will try to set up something for tomorrow for us guys. I wanted to know if it's okay for me to take questions from the chat. If anybody has any questions for you in the chat, if you wouldn't mind answering the questions they may have.
Yes, I also wanted to ask you, how do you feel about when they were at the crime scene? And I do want to confirm that Dorothy did make the call. She called in the tip that Kimani's body was there. I also wanted to add, if you guys seen the video when everybody...
Okay, so y'all heard that from her, that she called in the tip. That was a big conversation out there amongst the crowd and the identifying of her body.
He was like, lock her up too. And then it was like, how do you feel to her? How the fuck do you feel? And somebody else screamed, you like, offenders. and people who touch kids. And she laughed. She was smirking the whole time. She confirmed it was Kimani's body without going and looking. She knew of the injuries without looking. And what pisses me off is that when they said that, she nodded her head and laughed. She turned around, smiled really big, and shook her head yes.
Now, what I thought is that Dorothy was sent a picture from the crime scene, because I remember the news lady going to tell another lady that was recording out there when they was waiting for them to bring her out, and she said that Dorothy identified her, and she said that she was on her way there. So if she wasn't there when she identified her, then I would think that she sent the picture. So she's then later on she's gonna say that Dorothy went into the building. So I'm listen for that. We gonna listen for that.
In front of the police while being escorted into the building.
Oh, there
which
it is.
should have never been allowed.
See, so let me take that back. That's the first I'm hearing that she was in the building. Because everybody was saying how we was out here before her. How would she know how she, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that she had been in there from that conversation, but this is what she's saying.
Canceled. They were also going to do another event where they are asking for donations to buy more tickets to go to the skating rink, since Kimani did love skating as well.
I saw that.
So yes, that is going to be done after, yes.
Okay. So the thing with Dorothy is not a thing. I seen somebody in the comments ask, could we do something? Can we have an internet party? I did already ask if it was okay if we can do like a balloon release for her, and she let me know that it was fine for us to do that. Once we are done talking to the aunt, I will try to set up something for tomorrow for us guys. I wanted to know if it's okay for me to take questions from the chat. If anybody has any questions for you,
welcome in, June.
Wouldn't mind answering the questions.
And Mr. Salty Balls.
Yes, I also wanted to ask you, how do you feel about when they were at the crime scene? And I do want to confirm that Dorothy did make the call. She called in the tip that Kimani's body was there. I also wanted to add, if you guys seen the video where when everybody was like, lock her up too, and then it was like, how do you feel to her? How the fuck do you feel? And somebody else screamed, you like, offenders and people who touch kids. And she laughed. She was smirking the whole time. She confirmed it was Kimani's body without going and looking. She knew of the injuries without looking. And what pisses me off is that when they said that, she nodded her head and laughed. She turned around, smiled really big, and shook her head yes.
Shout out to T Beezy. Welcome in. How you doing?
In front of the police while being escorted into the building, which should have never been allowed.
How did I feel about that? I feel like as soon as she walked up, she was very defensive. I didn't like the comments she made when she walked up on the scene. I heard somebody say she had beer mace.
She had beer mace on her, and the day before she pulled out a gun on Kat twice.
I think that.
Now I did hear. So Kat is the cousin that used to live with Dorothy for a while, and her mother was actually living in the house with Dorothy. And so Kat stayed there for a few months. She seen a lot when she was there, and she actually got into it with Dorothy allegedly because she put her hands on Kimani when she was there. She also told a story about Kimani having a new dress that they had some type of occasion, and she was supposed to wear this dress, but she had so many bruises on her that she had to put a turtleneck on and some pants up under it to cover it. And so this is the woman that's actually speaking up and heading searches and all this kind of stuff, because she did see a lot. And she put a weapon on her. She said, I heard her say that she did. And she said that a neighbor handed to her.
Before I answer, will Kimani be released to her mother so that her mother can give her the proper services?
So we are currently dealing with that situation. Right now, everyone is fighting to give her to her, including the DA, including PD, including the coroner. They made it clear that Dorothy is still very much under investigation.
Welcome in, BFF. Shout out to my moderators in the building. We safe now. We safe now. Act up if you want to. Shout out to TBZ, BFF, and Bronze if he's still here.
So they are working toward that now. What was done to her will haunt me for the rest of my life. What I seen, and I pray it haunts her. I pray that it haunts her. It's gonna haunt her, and I hope that he doesn't choose the coward's way out, because he will not survive in there, not very long. And I hope that he meets the very same fate. How is the mom like? Because I know in the beginning when she was missing, the mom, Tierra, was under the impression he had nothing to do with it. How is she feeling now, knowing what she knows? Okay, so let me properly choose my words, because I don't think there's much explaining, except for the community has seen her out. Like, she's still searching around, looking to try to see what went wrong, what could have possibly happened. A total stranger that recognized her, but he didn't recognize her at first, but when he looked at her, he said, her eyes, everything about her is dead. She is in a state of shock. She's in utter disbelief. She is numb. She is broken. I mean, my body feels numb, and I don't know how to explain how I feel. Like I said, I've been a victim of SA, and I also lost a child, not to these measures, of course. It was sudden infant death syndrome. So I kind of know the pain, but this is extreme. So I can't say I understand how she feels. She is not eating. She is not sleeping. Yes, she has been having seizures. She can't even take down water at this moment. That's how sick and disgusted she is. She feels betrayed, hurt, disgusted, like they failed her daughter miserably. She cried for help. Both her and Kimani.
If my baby don't make it home, I will never be okay again. And I hate to say that because I have other kids. If my baby don't make it home, I will never.
Watching her break like this tears my soul apart, because she is a very strong woman. She has endured so much in life that I have witnessed that, we can fight in everything from childhood issues to relationship issues to men. Like, hey, what do you think about this? We confide into, like, what do you think about him? That's how we are. And I've never seen her not wanting to talk and holding herself up against walls trying to walk, because she is so weak, because her body is shutting down. The human body can go but so long without food and water before your organs start shutting down slowly. What is something that you feel is important for us to know about Dorothy? She's a mongrel. She's a liar. She's a deceiver. She's a child abuser. Excuse my French. She's an utter bitch.
Warning.
Nobody likes her in her own family. What do you think happened? What, if you could think of anything, what do you think happened that led us to here? I was thinking Dorothy beat on her and took it too far, and then other things happened after. But I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. Those son of a bitches planned this. Because for y'all not to let us see her for 2 years, and then suddenly out of the blue let her come spend some time with us, and then take her, and then we never hear nothing from her again except for, Kimani's missing. It was nearly maybe 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon when we got the phone call. Right then and there, I got off the phone with my attorney, because I was speaking about my litigation with my attorney that I have back in New York, and I got on the phone with all the news stations. I called the police precinct. We asked to speak to Detective Kincaid. I spoke to Officer Nunez, because at first they weren't trying to give us any information because Sierra was not the custodian. But we pushed it, we urged it. I got very frustrated, and I said to him, listen here, I don't care if Nunez, if Kincaid is not there, Nunez. If this was your child or anybody else in Toledo PD's family, you guys would be on it. There would be an Amber Alert issued the second you noticed the child was missing. You're not going to sit here and tell me that there's suggestions and you guys are presuming foul play. You guys believe there's foul play, and you have not issued any warrants. You guys have not ordered polygraphic testing. You guys have not tore our house from the inside out. God did it.
Welcome in, Miss B.
And I said, you're going to speak to her mother because I'm asking you to. What would you do if this is your child? And then he seemed like he opened up a bit. He gave us information. From then on, they really haven't spoken to us much. They're now starting to speak to her. They're still not telling her nothing, other than Dorothy is very much under investigation, and that Darnell confessed. But we all know that one person is not capable of doing this by himself.
Do you think that, because I know that they said he was in stable condition, I know he was supposed to be arraigned yesterday, but they had to push it back. Do you know when the next arraignment date is for him?
We do not. Apparently he is still hospitalized, so we don't know how serious or unserious the situation is with his gunshot wound. But
trigger warning.
All I am praying for, and the family is praying for, that son of a bitch makes it, because you're gonna see your day in court.
I've seen a few people. Well, a few of my my people in my community, they had did a deep dive on his Facebook page. I mean, they went back years, right?
Yeah, no,
and a few of the things that popped up is they were saying that because I know Tierra spoke about her having mental health issues, but a lot of his posts look like he was mentally unstable.
Yeah, so Tierra's issues aren't really cause for concern with the children and her children and how she raises her children.
Right.
Tierra's issues come from child abuse, from being essayed in that home repeatedly, from bouncing around from foster home and group home to foster home. You know, it takes a toll on you. I myself have chronic complex PT.
Now, when she's talking about all of this, like being the essay in the household, Tierra said that she was taken from her mother when she was two years old and 2 months. And she came back home at the age of 19. So I don't know, but what got them taken from the mother is, the same thing that was going on with Kimani. Laying hands on them and neglect, I think is what she's going to say it.
Yes, and that doesn't mean that you're mentally ill.
Allegedly.
Right? But when I seen that video myself of what Darnell had posted, it's giving sadistic, malignant, narcissistic son of a bitch. I had my ups and downs where I'm like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I truly did not like him. I always call my Kimani my little light bright.
Do you know what made the grandma more comfortable with him being in touch with Kimani than the mom?
We don't know. We always questioned it. We always said that it was not right. And it wasn't. It wasn't. I watched her mother suffer so much, shed so many tears, beg, cry, and plead, drop to her knees while on the phone on FaceTime begging, and just get talked to like she was a piece of shit, like she didn't matter. I witnessed Dorothy tell her she should have had a fucking abortion.
See, now we do know that because Tierra told that story on the news. And so, yeah, I don't think she have nothing to do with it either. And they definitely don't get along. What she said was that she came home at the age of 19. She said she seen something her mother didn't want her to see. She did something her mother didn't want her to do. And her mother has hated her ever since. She didn't elaborate on the story, but that is the story.
Do you think Dorothy was sleeping with him?
There's no telling what the fuck was going on in that nasty ass household. Mocha, come here. Don't do it.
What does justice look like to you? What does justice look like for you?
The death penalty. And not just immediate. Throw him in general population.
BFF, can you get rid of Rick? I don't like when people come in and make statements like that.
Throw everyone that...
The block party is missing you. It's stinking there too. I hope you're ready.
Had something to do with it in Gen Pop. Again, I've been in prison. You see, you peed on the floor because I see it.
Or TBZ, whoever get them first. My bad. Whoever get them first. If y'all ain't already got them, you gotta go.
Keeps making comments that the word you're choosing is going to get us banned. They say you have to work around your wording.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
Please.
I agree to the birds of a feather flock together, and I believe that they need to hold them all accountable for what they did. Dorothy also needs to be charged for child abuse.
Boop.
Do you think that he will get a plea deal if he offer up all those who were involved?
Absolutely not. Not under these circumstances. Absolutely not.
They said, how did the woman know where the body was? She doesn't know. She just know that Dorothy is the one that called in the tip of where the body was. Only Dorothy can answer that question.
I would love to know how that happened. I did hear that they were seen carrying her in, though. Or Darnell was seen carrying her in. I heard that the neighbor's camera picked it up over there on Miami Street. Let's see.
Which is why we're pushing to know what roles did she play by getting that polygraphic testing, and how did she know that she was there? How did she call it in? How did she identify Kimani or Kimani's injuries without looking at her?
I'll get them. They would have had to have showed her a picture or something. She said, how does she identify her without looking at her? But she had said something about her going into the building. So, what's happening here? Hold on, y'all.
And it wasn't. I watched her mother suffer so much, shed so many tears, beg, cry, and plead, drop to her knees while on the phone on FaceTime begging.
Y'all, please get the thumbs up. We got 70 people watching with 30 thumbs up. Can y'all please get the thumbs up to 70? I would greatly appreciate that. Oh, you found them. Thanks, BFF.
And just get talked to like she was a piece of shit, like she didn't matter. I witnessed Dorothy tell her she should have had a fucking abortion.
Boop! Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Thank y'all for the hearts. I greatly appreciate that. Thank y'all for hitting the reactions.
You think Dorothy was sleeping with him?
There's no telling what the fuck was going on in that nasty ass household. Mocha, come here.
All
Don't
right.
do it.
What does justice look like to you? What does justice look like for you?
The death penalty.
Trigger
And
warning.
not just immediate. Throw him in general population. Throw everyone that had something to do with it in Gen Pop. Again, I've been in prison. You see, you peed on the floor because I see it.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with TikTok, but my community keeps making comments that the words you're choosing is going to get us banned. They say you have to work around your wording.
Okay. Yes, I agree. I agree to the birds of a feather flock together, and I believe that they need to hold them all accountable for what they did. Dorothy also needs to be charged for child abuse.
Trigger
warning. Do you think that he will get a plea deal if he offer up all those who were involved?
Absolutely not. Not under these circumstances. Absolutely not.
They said, how did the woman know where the body was? She doesn't know. She just know that Dorothy is the one that called in the tip of where the body was. Only Dorothy can answer that question.
Which is why we're pushing to know what roles did she play by getting that polygraphic testing, and how did she know that she was there? How did she call it in? How did she identify Kimani or Kimani's injuries without looking at her? And then as Tierra begged to...
Dorothy, somebody in the comments said, did Dorothy give the news the tip? Yes. You can elaborate on it. I know we already spoke about it offline, but you can definitely, if you want to, elaborate on it.
So, yes, she did. She certainly did, which is another red flag. Now, I believe, this isn't, confirmed or anything, but I believe that when she was arrested for interrogation, because it was told by someone else that they did pick up that Dorothy and Darnell had to do with it. Darnell also said the same thing, that Dorothy had to do with it. She had something to do with it. So she was picked up for questioning and interrogation. She is not in the clear. So knowing how the law works, I believe that the only reason she is back out is so that they could find the rest of the people.
You know what? And I was thinking too that so they letting her out until they build more information because they don't have enough to do anything to her, but they are investigating, and even it could be to lay her to rest. I don't know. Obviously they don't have nothing clear that says that's obvious right now. They got to do some digging to find that. And shout out to T Beezy, sniper in the building. Act up if you want to. I'm sure he was acting up.
For investigation. So, question, because I know when I asked you, what do you think happened? You said that Dorothy abused and you think it went too far.
Trigger warning. So you hear her, she said that she feel like Dorothy went too far with laying hands.
Did, and then because I know I seen that it was reported that her unaliving came from knife. Yes. Right. So I'm trying to word it without us getting flagged. So from knife wounds, right? So
trigger warning.
Do you think that Dorothy was responsible for just the attack on her, or do you think Dorothy also was the? I believe that she played a role in that as well. Again, one person cannot commit such things on his own, especially with someone who was slightly taller than him. So it says.
You hear that? Kimani was taller than her dad. Slightly, she just said. They said she was 5'6", 120 pounds.
He confessed and said that Dorothy had something to do with it? Yes, he did. What did he say? Because he's already spoke with police? So he spoke with Columbus, and Columbus did release that. He said that she had something to do with it. And this was since he's been in the hospital? Yes. Somebody asked me in my private chat, was KP really the cousin? He is very much a cousin. She said she's unclear of if that was him in the video or not. The only thing that we know that the only reason we know that he was there is because Darnell said it. But it hasn't been anything clear telling us it was him.
Now y'all see she just called the cousin KP. So I couldn't remember. Somebody in the chat said KB, and I was like, is KB or KP? But I don't know what his real name is. And I did hear the crowd that was out there waiting for them to bring her out on Miami Street say that he had been picked up. So, and also I'm wondering whose car is it that they confiscated, the Kia. I'm wondering if it's the grandmother's car, because I heard the dad had an SUV. He had the maroon or red SUV. The cousin has a black one. And so I don't know what kind of vehicle the grandmother got, but they definitely got that. And then I got some times that everybody put up, but we'll get to that.
Something like, what did she ask him to do it and why? That was not disclosed. All that was told was that she played a role. And it was also stated by Kimani's friends and teachers that Kimani told them that she was afraid to go home because her grandmother unalived another child in the home that they were unable to prove because they found the child in a hole with multiple bruises all over her. So was the child unalived? The child was unalived.
Y'all hear that?
Another red flag.
Y'all hear that? Now, what?
It is also said that there's other ones, and that there, I would have never let her go back home. I would have called CSB and said, I would take custody of this child if I have to, temporarily, until you figure something out or let her go back with her mother.
Everything is alleged. Everything is alleged, because I mean, this is the first I'm hearing of that, period.
This is sickening, sadistic, and insane. Yeah. So wait.
Okay.
Like the live, share the live, follow me if you're not already following.
Yes, everything she's saying. Please share this live, y'all.
Share the live, guys. Share the live. You're saying that the teacher said that Kimani was afraid to go home because another child was unalived in the house, and you're saying they were unable to prove that it was her because she was found where? In a hole with multiple bruises all over her. So it appeared that she had fallen.
That's crazy.
Did she have custody of that said child? She had custody of the child, yes. At the time of the child's unaliving? Yes.
That's crazy if that's true.
How long too sure.
You know the kid's name that it happened to?
No, it was not told. It is also a known fact that she had another foster child in her care that did come up pregnant.
I did see that, and it was the foster. I did see.
I heard that too, and it was allegedly her son that did this.
I did see something about that. Can you elaborate more on that story, just so that I know that this is the same story you're talking about? It was something that the kid left or something after. Can you talk?
They're saying that the kid left, but there's other speculations that she just up and disappeared, and there's no telling behind that. We believe it may be one of the other quote unquote, unalivings.
That's great.
But we can't say for sure. What we are asking TPD to do is get cadaver dogs around that property. That property did belong to Dorothy as well in the past.
Now y'all heard that. Now that was something that I was told when I came out there. When I went on the scene, the people, as soon as I got out the car, they told me, yeah, this house is owned by Dorothy's mother. And I'm like, what? So it's not owned by her mother now, but they did say that her mother was living there before she moved to Arizona. And then but somebody else bought that house, shout out to BFF, but somebody else bought that house for like $4,000 last year. And it's just been an eyesore forever. And now the community is petitioning to turn it into a memorial park for Kimani. And but somebody owns own it. But they said something about digging up the gas line or something, or cutting it off, and it's getting ready for demolition, but I don't know when they gonna do it. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but the community is trying to do something. But if somebody already own it, I don't know how that worked. But let's go.
So wait, so that I heard it, the girl was said that she left, but you're saying it may not be true?
It may not be true. TPD has failed all of these children miserably.
I'm going to...
If they would have issued that Amber Alert, Kimani would probably still be here today.
Let me see what y'all saying about all of this that we hearing right now. Again, I'm going to say everything is alleged. A lot of the stuff is new to me. A developer bought it, I heard, and was taking forever to remodel it. I heard something to that effect. I wonder what the holdup is for her funeral. Well, first, I don't know how the first holdup was probably money. And then the second one was the Brown Funeral Home that they picked that everybody was sending donations to. A guy came out and said that guy SA'd him when he was going to Friendship Baptist Church at the age of 16. And they shouldn't be laying her to rest with this guy. And so then they was looking for another place to have it. And now it's going to be held at Dale Funeral Home. And I don't know where they at with that. Okay, this happened before. I can understand. Usually crime happen before they just get away with it. And they repeat it. Yep, it sure do. They get emboldened. Like they don't get caught the first time and they continue. I've been following this, and there's a lot of discrepancies in a lot of versions. A lot has been added. But my greatest concern is that this baby still not being put to rest. Okay, yep. And I'm sure they got the autopsy and all of that stuff. I know they told us about the preliminary. I'm thinking it was a hold up with the funeral and stuff. With the money and who was gonna actually do it. Did someone stay next door to the house key was found in? Well, yes, but okay, so the house was on the corner. Let me pull this up. It was a house across the street, and is one in the back that I believe they said captured him bringing her into the house. So this is the property. That's the property. You see that fence right there is a property there, and right across from here, right across from the front, is a property there. But right here is nothing. It's like plant stuff or industrial type things. So it's only a neighbor right there to the right and right here. So it's an alley that splits that neighbor. Then it's a house there, but I don't know. It is a truck there on Google Maps, but I don't know if somebody still lives there. So you see that where it's sitting at? All of those trees across the street is nothing across the street like a house or anything that way. But see, they not really, I mean, it's kind of ducked off to me. When I was there, I was like, look, this alley is right off of an alley he could have put in, went in through the back, and all of that stuff is pretty secluded, is what I was saying when I was there.
Kimani died seconds before they found her.
That's not true.
The coroner report made it clear that Kimani's time of death and the date of death, because, you know, they can tell that through the body and through the autopsy, that it was at 12:19 p.m. and it was on 3/24.
That's the time that they found her body. That's the time that they pulled her out of that abandoned building. Because there's no way they could have known that like right away. I do believe that it was the 24th when they put her out of that building. So let me look at let me go look at something right quick. Because they don't know the time of death. They don't know. They do not know that right away. So right here it says March 18th, she was reported missing. March 19th, the grandmother. Wait, I thought this was. Matter of fact, let me do something. Why does don't have no audio? Let me let her keep talking.
Did they know how long she's had a lot of her injuries? Could they tell how long a lot of those injuries had been there? It was not disclosed just yet, and I doubt they're going to disclose it anytime soon because of the ongoing investigation. A lot of these officers are really acting like they care now, and they were very heartless throughout the entire investigation. No, so Kimani's exact time of death was, date and time was March 24th, 2025 at 12:19 p.m.
Okay, so let me play something else. Hold on.
Before she went missing.
Show me your hands right now, bro. Pull your hand out of your. I swear to God, pull your.
Oh my God, I wasn't trying to play that part.
We're tracking new details in the death of Kimani Latigue. The full unedited body cam video as police find and shoot the man they say killed her.
Warning.
What it shows happened just before an officer pulled the trigger. Plus, we get answers from Toledo's top cop.
We were able to develop information and leads, and
y'all gonna hear it in a minute what I'm trying to hear.
As sad as it is, recover her and bring some closure to the family, to the community.
The investigation into the abduction and murder of the 13-year-old girl continues. The full uncut interview with Toledo Police Chief Mike Trenley.
Political officials are going to have to step up. The local organizations, nonprofit and private, the businesses are also going to have to step up, because at this point, we should have been doing this a long, long time ago. We just can't wait to make this happen and make it.
Hold on, I'm going to pull this up. This is getting on my nerves. Wait a minute, y'all. Because I want y'all to hear what he's going to say.
Better for these kids out here.
The call for answers and justice continues as our community mourns the death of 13-year-old Kimani LATIGUE. Her family is remembering her life as she would have celebrated her 14th birthday this week, and her father remains in the hospital, shot by police and charged with killing her. Here's how the story has unfolded. Toledo police posted the alert that Kimani was missing on Tuesday, March 18th. It was just after 4 p.m. She was last reported at her grandmother's home on Elm Street in North Toledo. The next day, WTOL 11 spoke with the teen's grandmother, Dorothy LATIGUE. She's also Kimani's legal guardian. She said she came home from work Tuesday morning, found Kimani was missing. She called her school before making a report to TPD. By Friday, March 21st, family, friends, even strangers came out to North Toledo to search for Kimani. Her mother, Tiara Caston, was there from Cleveland. Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, would be charged with abduction on Sunday, March 23rd. Court documents show he was the last person with her before she went missing. Then on Monday, March 24th, police found a body inside a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office would later identify the remains of those of 13-year-old Kimani LATIGUE. Her time of death was 12:19 p.m.
Right. So that's when they put her out of there. The way that they said it there. And I'm gonna still pull it up so y'all can see it. Maybe the visual will help showing the timeline. That is what time. So she went missing on the 18th. She did not take her last breath on the 24th. That's the day they put her out of that building. Cause wait. Let's listen at it again.
Report to TPD. By Friday, March 21st, family, friends, even strangers came out to North Toledo to search for Kimani. Her mother, Tiara Caston, was there from Cleveland. Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, would be charged with abduction on Sunday, March 23rd. Court documents show he was the last person with her before she went missing. Then on Monday, March 24th, police found a body inside a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office would later identify the remains of those of 13-year-old Kimani LATIGUE. Her time of death was 12:19 p.m.
Okay, so do that make sense what I'm saying? That is just the time that they put her out of that building. So the mom and grandma is fighting over his estate. Man, let me move this. I believe it was later in the afternoon around 4 p.m. that they put her out. I watched it live. The coroner can predict time of... Right, but so you believe that Kimani was alive while they were searching for her? Look, so her body was found on the 24th. Her dad was charged on the 23rd. He was charged on the 23rd. The search party and all that. I believe that was just the time that they put her out. But I'm going to research it. But I'm willing to put money on that.
Jones would be charged with murder that same day, and Columbus police tracked him to the city on Tuesday, March 25th. It was then that officers ended up shooting him and finding a...
Yeah, we don't need to see. I just wanted to show that part of it, really, the timeline.
Jones would be charged with murder that same day, and Columbus police tracked him to the city on Tuesday, March 25th. It was then that officers ended up shooting him and finding a gun at the scene. In a moment, we'll show you the unedited body cam video of this encounter.
Trigger
we do
warning.
Want to warn you,
Right, what am I doing? I ain't trying to play that. Shoot, we supposed to be back on the other video. Thanks, BFF. Just messing up my video right now. I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look into it right now. Sophisticated luxury.
She took her last breath. Somebody said, so did the dad leave the search and go to the house? And you had to say unalive.
So she hung on from the 18th to the 24th, right before they found her. That's something. If that is what happened.
Let me see. So, well, the neighbor's camera does have Darnell there that morning. Also, after him and someone else brought her there, he stood outside, smoked a cigarette, then went back inside and left. Did they see him taking her in there? Yes, it was caught on camera.
See?
Did you guys get to see the footage? No. I'm going to open my chat up to everybody. I'm going to have my mods monitor it. He was found that same exact time at 12:19, almost 12:20. I'm going to open the chat up for anybody else that may have some other questions. Since we pretty much went over all the questions that the subs had, so I'm opening the chat up. The chat is open to everyone now. If you have any questions, please feel free to say them in the chat. Somebody says, so if it didn't happen the first night, was he washing clothes at the girlfriend's and hiding his shoes? We don't know because she's saying that he hasn't returned and that he is not allowed around her. And he couldn't come within 10 feet of their home. So he will no longer be allowed to know his child there, his children that he has there, or see them again. Somebody said
she's in. I think she'll get to that. Like, this is stuff they've been communicating with law enforcement because she's adamant that Dorothy is definitely still being investigated. I had heard this information though, as far as the neighbor camera picking it up. So it was a neighbor across from Dorothy that has cameras that pick stuff up, and he literally hand Darnell the phone to look at the footage, and then Kat was there and grabbed the phone and she seen it, and then I heard the neighbors where she was dropped off at caught it. So I heard it, but I didn't know, I just kind of heard it as a rumor, but she's saying the same thing. So it's not verified though.
Have you guys been in contact with the girlfriend, and what is she saying? That's all that she has said.
Verified for me, I should say.
Her other children's father is there at the home because people are threatening her. That's insane. So he fears for his children's safety, so he has been there to help keep them safe. We don't need to be pointing the fingers at anyone other than everyone who was at that house. So I'm going to list these names. Dorothy. Hold on. Class, take notes of the names that she's throwing out there because I will ask again, and you guys better know. Y'all better know. Because half of y'all didn't even turn in your questions that I told y'all to turn in. Go ahead, list the names. We ready? Go ahead, you list the names. So we're going to look at Dorothy. Okay. We're going to look at Darnell. We're going to look at KP. We're going to look at Wayne. We're going to look at Shabuka, who shortly after Kimani allegedly called her father, was supposed to arrive to that home 10 minutes later, who the next day came out with flyers that she didn't get from the grandmother, but she resides in the home. Her and her boyfriend, who is unnamed, but Shabuka was out here claiming that Kimani was her daughter. She actually went up to one of our friends and said, hey, help me find my baby. I thought that was crazy when I seen it. It pissed me off. It really, really upset me. And I wanted to go out there just to hunt her down and put paws all over her. I'm from the Bronx. I'm not going to really talk. I just run up and handle my business. I try not to be that way anymore. But certain circumstances just call for the animal in me to come back out. And when it comes to children, I do not play. I know what it was like not having a voice growing up. I knew what it was like not having nobody that loved me or cared about me, and to be ignored, to be pushed to the sidelines. Like, it was unfair. And what happened, the entire disappearance from the beginning seemed very much sketchy to us. Somebody in the chat said, has he ever SA'd her before? Do you guys know of her being SA'd ever by anybody? To our knowledge, no, because she didn't tell us, but she did tell one of her friends at school that someone did touch her inappropriately. She did not elaborate. I know that in the live that I seen her mom do, her mom said that she was very private, that she only really liked getting dressed in her room, in the bathroom. Yes. Very much reserved, a reserved child. She would not come out and, you know, how other people do, walk from the bathroom to the room in a towel. She would get dressed in one spot. Somebody said, did she willingly walk in the house? Where she was?
Yes, everything is alleged that's coming out of her mouth. Everything on this channel is alleged until it's proven in a court of law. But some of the things that she's saying I've heard, but as far as the unaliving of other foster kids and all that, I never heard that. I did hear that one of her 16-year-old foster child ended up pregnant. I didn't hear that she was missing, but I heard that from Kat actually it was Tiara that said, you know what happened to that 16-year-old? She got pregnant by my brother. So I heard that come out of her mouth. And it was something else that she just said that I heard Tiara say something about too. God dang it, that slipped my mind. Did the
ring camera kind of struggle? She was carried in there.
She was carried in. That's what she's saying. Now, you know, neighbors' footage don't take long to get because they can just hand it to them. But like, you know, retrieving. You know what, though, y'all? Look at like this. If the neighbor across the street has a camera, they're going to be able to go back on a lot of things depending on how that neighbor's camera delete. Now, I heard Katrina say, or Kat say, that it was two people that got cameras. One is facing the back of Dorothy house and the other one is facing the front. And so if they have cameras that hold on to footage, they'll be able to go back and see activity at the house, who actually live at the house, and all of that kind of stuff. That's been you know, Dorothy said it was only Kimani and the dogs and her, but Kat said during that same interview, the Shabu chick jangled her keys right there on the scene. And so anyway, and then the guy I ran into at the memorial, he said that you know, people, it was a party house and people was already there, always over there. And he said basically it was like a crack house to him. So pronounced versus actual time of death. The time of pronounced, which is the time when a person is declared, might not always correspond to the actual time. Right. And so I don't know which verbiage she just used, but I definitely believe that you know, she did not lay in that house for all them days. If she been in there since the 18th, ain't no way she laid there you know, alive right before they found her. I'm just, yeah, that's the time that they found her. She was missing for a week, y'all, before they found her, right? The 18th, and I forgot what that date was. Hold on.
I know that in the live that I seen her mom do, her mom said that she was very private, that she only really liked getting dressed in her room, in the bathroom. Yes. Very much reserved, a reserved child. She would not come out and, you know, how other people do, walk from the bathroom to the room in a towel. She would get dressed in one spot. Somebody said, did she willingly walk in the house? Where she was filmed? Did the ring camera kind of struggle? She was carried in there. Okay. I figured she was carried in there because I knew of what the autopsy said was going on. So I knew that there was no way she just willingly walked in. She was hurt. OKC1. She was hurt. If you guys go look and see what about the autopsy, and she was hurt really bad, sadistically and heinously. Well, she made not well with the coroner and with the coroner put her time of death, what her time of her unaliving is, and the time she was taken in there, she probably was just holding on for life. Somebody said, did she have any narcotics in her system? We don't know. Everything was not released, just some of her injuries. Again, there are things that were not released to us because of the investigation and because it will harm the investigation. But again, we don't feel like TPD is doing their jobs properly.
Was any other children left in the home?
No.
Welcome in, Ozzy.
Ben Pretty said, did he confess?
People are saying he did. That has not been confirmed.
Okay.
All that we know is that he did tell Columbus PD that Dorothy played a role in it. That's all that we know for sure.
And just to go back, you said that the young lady they got pregnant, right? She's missing.
She has been for a long time.
I think I did hear that he confessed, but I have to listen for that too.
But the grandmom is stating she left.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this whole thing is heartbreaking.
What's your name, Kira? You said, how can a father do that to his own child? I'm going to speak from experience because, again, I myself was SA'd by my biological father. Some people don't have hearts and are true demons inside of them. They are heartless and they don't care. They don't care who you are. Once a predator, always one. There is no rehabilitation for these kind of people. And I can also say that from experience because after serving 16 years in prison, my father came out to then ask me, follow me on social media, and there is a lifelong order protection, to ask me to send him pictures of my quote-unquote SEXY body. And he was immediately blocked, and I contacted his parole board.
That's sick. Her own father did this to her. And ironically, this is what happened to her foster sister's daughter. Allegedly.
Some people don't change, and people like that will never change. I believe that the DP should be brought back nationwide for people with these kind of offenses. I believe that castration is necessary in these type of cases. I believe that none of them should ever see the light of day.
And I do believe that they never change. Even if you cut it off, they'll use something else.
Star, she didn't give the pregnant girl name, and she does not have exact dates of the supposed unaliving. Well, the unaliving of the little girl that was found that was in Dorothy's custody, and she doesn't have the time frame of the young lady that was pregnant either. She just gave us as much as she can about those two situations. We have to keep in mind that she doesn't even live in the same state Dorothy lives in.
I live in Ohio now. I live with Tiara.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, I live here with Tiara.
But you're not close. You don't live close to Dorothy, right?
No, we're in Cleveland. We're about 2 hours away.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So they are not really in contact with Dorothy at all. So they're being told a lot of things that's happening that they weren't present for. Somebody said they don't understand how these kids are in the grandmom's care and the unalive or missing.
And nothing is being done. We don't either. We don't understand how she got Kimani or any other child in the first place after what she did to her own kids. Some parents are not parents. They're incubators and donors.
I have a question. Who let you guys know about her disappearance? Because you guys got the call about her being missing, right?
Tanika called us and was on the phone all throughout the night. And during that live that, we just spoke about, that Tiara...
And that's the other aunt, correct?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Her sale went out, guys. Her asked how the mom was doing. She's not doing good at all. She's barely eating. She's barely keeping her, being able to...
She's not eating at all. She's not drinking at all. She's not taking a fluid. So people are saying they find it odd that she's having seizures. There's nothing odd about that when the human body starts to shut down. She is in a state of shock. She is in a state of disbelief. She is hurt beyond measures. We were very much excited and preparing for her birthday. A package just arrived here yesterday with Kimani's gifts for her party. I also see people saying that she's responsible too. She's not responsible. There's other people that are commenting that she as well knew what happened, or this, and that. And
did you see somebody comment that in this live?
No, not in this.
Oh, I was about to say.
Social media. So I do want to clarify that we had no knowledge until almost maybe 14, 15, 16 hours later. And then we were getting all kind of different stories. At that point, we looked at each other and said they did something to her. And we feel like it's planned. So we started calling PD and, giving them all the information that we had and questioning if they knew about this already, where they told us they didn't know any of this.
Okay, so I found my answer about the autopsy information. And what it actually says, I went on to the coroner site to see what wording did they use, and they are using pronounced, right? So let me go to it. What did I do with it that quick? It says here, and it was posted on 3/25. So on 3/25/2025, the Lucas County Coroner's Office performed an autopsy on the body of 13-year-old Kimani LATIGUE and found the cause to be multiple incised wounds of the neck. The manner is ruled as, a homicide. And Kimani, she was pronounced at the 1100 block of Miami Street, Toledo, Ohio, on 3/24/2025 at 12:19 p.m. And so when you look at the definition of pronounced unalived, it means a medical professional like a doctor or paramedic that has officially determined that a person has passed based on the presence of no vital signs. So they just basically saying, okay, she is gone, and let's pronounce her at this time. But that don't mean that that's what time she took her last breath. If that makes sense. My mom always told us to speak up and was always our safe space. I'm so sad Kimani didn't have that safe place. Not at all. Not at all. And the people that she found a safe place with, she was snatched away from them by moving her to a different school. Like, for a kid to be moving to 5 or 6 different schools, that, like I said, that is a red flag in itself. And that poor girl, like, she had nobody really that was there for her. She was scared in the house and left alone at night. That's crazy. It's grown people that don't want to stay home by themselves at night or at all. It's some people that's afraid to stay alone. And you leaving this baby in the house by herself, because that's what she was, to fend for herself amongst a bunch of bad people, allegedly. It's wrong.
I was the one making all the calls, me calling
Story has taken so many turns since I've been sent this case. It's taken so many turns.
So I'm sorry. Somebody said on the comments the grandmother's house needs to be checked. Like today, so we've been urging them to go in there and see if they find any blood splatter. It is also said that when the police walked into the house, Dorothy was cleaning the house with bleach. So what the hell are you hiding?
Well, I did hear that I heard the cousin Kat and Tierra say that she was cooking an omelet, and she was doing her thing when, as a matter of fact, it was Darnell. So we can take that with a grain of salt. It was Darnell that told Tierra, shoot, she in the house cooking, making omelets and drinking and smoking or whatever they were saying.
The craziest thing is when they say she was in there making an omelet. You're talking about she was in there smoking and drinking and
cooking. She was pretty much partying. Like, what the fuck are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? Because there's no way in hell I'm going to just be sitting down, relaxing and chilling and drinking and smoking weed and cooking and being comfortable while a child that's in my care or my child is missing. Because Tierra, though she did not have the funds, because yes, she did just days before this send Dorothy $900 to help take care of Kimani and buy Kimani $500 worth of clothes and give Kimani another $100 to spend how she pleased for her birthday as an early birthday gift. You know, she didn't have the money, so she took to TikTok and she got on live and did something she's never done before. She begged for donations so she can get out there to find her baby. Right now, she's blaming herself because she said, had I got out here sooner, it is not your fault. It's not.
I remember Tierra talking about the story when her mother kept asking her for money and she sent it and all this, but she said she was homeless at the time. So when she was telling that story about sending the money, I wasn't connecting that with present time. But
her fault. And even if she would have got out here sooner, I don't think that would have changed the X that's happened. I just don't think that would have changed a thing. I still don't think they would have gave her baby. I don't think Dorothy would have gave her baby. I wonder, because I know you feel like Dorothy abused her and it went too far, and that's why we're here, right? I wonder if Kimani was on such a high from just being with you and her mother, if that happiness pissed Dorothy off so bad that's why she wanted her like the way she did. Right. Well, that's how we feel.
Let me finish reading this. So it says more on the pronounce. It says medical determination. It says when someone is pronounced unalived, it signifies that a trained healthcare professional has assessed the individual and based on their medical knowledge and protocol concludes that there is no possibility of resuscitation or recovery. These professionals look for absence of vital signs like heartbeat, breathing, and brain activity, as well as under indicators of unaliving, such as rigor mortis, stiffening of the body, or decomposition.
We also know that there has always been jealousy between Dorothy and Tierra, so Dorothy has always pretty much been jealous of Tierra and treated her like a nobody, like she didn't matter, like she was worthless, like trash. And it says a lot that dumped my little light bright off like she was garbage.
Pink Panther said people been fake since I was born in the 70s. I think it's been like that before you was thought of. That's for sure. That's something that's always been. Exactly, you're right. Thank you, Ozzy.
And that, you know what? And I hate to bring up the colorism topic, but what I do know about a lot of older women in their age group, they despise lighter skinned women because of things that they went through when they're growing up. And I thought about that when I seen Dorothy, and then I seen this baby, and then I seen her mom. I'm like, I wonder if she hated them just because they were lighter and beautiful, because that happens a lot. I see it firsthand that a lot of women from their age group despise. My mom is this baby. My mom is this baby's complexion. My mom is in her 60s, and I've seen plenty of women of darker skin hate my mom for years. My grandmother on my father's side hated my mom because of her skin tone. Girl, let me tell you how the light just went off by itself, off and back on 3 times. Oh, I must have hit it. Then. I must have hit it.
So what do y'all think about that, what she just said? Poor Kimani. Poor Kimani.
If it went off, then I said something. I must have hit the nail right on the head. If you saying that light went on 2-3 times, that was ding ding ding, ding ding ding. You got it. Turn the camera on to see if you witness it again, because look, this is absolutely absurd. It had to be ding ding ding. She right on the money. In my mind, the way Dorothy talked, the way her demeanor was, everything went to me that maybe she was jealous of the beauty of her. Maybe she was jealous of the skin complexion of her. And although Tierra is about my complexion, I get passed over as a light-skinned woman, and I'm not. You know what I mean? So that just makes me true. And Tierra her eyes are like a greenish hazel color, more on the green side. So, she takes well good care of herself. She is a hair and makeup artist and nail tech. Mocha, come here, go ahead. Don't do it. I was thinking it when I seen Dorothy, because when I seen her, it's like everything in me felt like.
I actually thought the mom had on contacts. She would call me High Yellow. And P.S. said Naziah too. Yep. This is so similar to the Naziah Harris case. I definitely feel like it was some jealousy there. Something was going on. For a mother and daughter to be at odds like that, and I'm, of course, initially you blame the mother because, you're the mother. So what the heck? What happened when she was 19 that her mother didn't like? But before that, 2.5 being taken out, put in foster care, and violated as well. It's crazy. It's generational, sound like.
She's so hateful. She must don't love herself. Her saying, I ain't had shit to do with it. It's like, this is the thing. Even if you're being accused of something, I just don't understand how no emotions when this is somebody you raised. This is somebody that was in your home. This is somebody on an everyday basis. You're worried about them. You're concerned. You're making sure they eat. They hear. How was your conversation? I ain't had to do with it. Don't say nothing.
Yep, that's the video that I played yesterday when she was with him, with the crowd right there. Like, I ain't have ish to do with it, and it's just like, wow. The aggression. That's when I was like, Granny, she with it for real. Like, I heard the sister say, Shanice. She said that the mother, Dorothy and Tierra, has fought before. They came to blows before. That's deep. She was looking good to her man, younger. Yep. Probably. That's crazy. I never even thought about this kind of stuff. Mothers actually allowing this. But we got 2 cases back to back.
Because somebody that's remorseful, somebody that had custody, somebody that cared for this child, like how Tierra saying, she's blaming herself. Like, if I would have got there sooner, you would think the person raising her would have blamed themselves, even if they didn't have anything to do with it. Like, I shouldn't have left her home alone, and I should have been there. And if I had, you would think the normal behavior in this situation for somebody that's responsible for the person, but not responsible for they blame themselves.
I totally agree with that. Like, I would definitely, wouldn't you blame yourself if you left your grandchild alone or anybody alone and something happened? Yes, that's a natural thing to blame yourself. And so, not her though. She didn't. She really didn't. She been standing 10 toes down. She has been on the scene of everything. She been walking around looking and everything, but I interviews and all that, but I have not seen any tears. I've seen more anger than anything. More anger, more aggression. No tears and no sorrow. Like, yeah, you don't hear that regret. You don't hear that it's my fault. You don't hear that in anything that she's been public with.
Like her mom's doing. Absolutely. And like, going over what you just said, it just reminded me of what she said at the site where they recovered, and she was very much aggressive and combative and said, I don't give a F about how any of you MFers feel, and that's that, period. Who speaks like that? Who shows no? Somebody that just lost a grandchild. Who's smirking in that kind of situation? Make it make sense. Because nothing that you have told us from the very beginning makes sense.
Oh, that's funny. Regina, I didn't even know you said that. Yep, she did. She absolutely did. When she was telling that story about giving her that money, she said she was homeless and living in her car at that time. It wasn't present. Present, she said she was doing well, got this, that, and the third, and got a lot of stuff going for herself. So, and again, everything is alleged on this channel.
The fact that you failed to inform her mother, the woman that carried her for 9 months, that almost died giving birth to her, after, and then cared for her, and then you lied on her, you show no emotion, and you failed to tell her anything for hours. 1 second. Let me say to the chick,
Now it wasn't ours. I heard Tiara say that her mother, she didn't find out about her daughter being missing from her mother. She found out from her sister who called. Shanice called her and told her. What is, why Kimani on Facebook saying that she missing and all this stuff? And she said she didn't hear from her mother until Thursday. And then she said even then she still didn't tell her that she was missing. She just said, "Why the F you ain't here?" And she said, "Why the F you ain't call me?" That was their conversation.
Cindy, love you down. I'm gonna say, since the family does not know of any essay from all of this time, they have no information on it. I don't want us to keep the narrative that she was SA'd, that she possibly pregnant by the grandma boyfriend. I don't want us to run with that narrative because the family was unaware if she was being SA'd. She never spoke on that to them.
I heard Tiara say that she heard, since she's been here looking for her, that her sister's son allegedly did something. So I did hear that come out of Tiara's mouth. And then, I mean, clearly, if she was being left at home by herself, you got men at the house with that on their record, fresh out of prison. Come on. We can put two and two together.
So when we're asking these questions to the family, I've asked already, did she think that she could have been SA'd or anything like that? They are unaware of that. They did not know any. Now, if something happened during the time of her unaliving and something went further than it needed to go, then maybe that may come out. Who knows? But as of right now, this was just cruel acts. This was a cruel act. We cannot contribute it to SA because it has not been put out there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as solid proof, no. But that's exactly what it's looking like. And then you have to wonder, why did this happen? What was it? Why did this happen at that moment, at that time? Was it something that they was trying to cover up? I don't know.
It's a horrible thing. We looking at all horrible situations. They had to be SA. No, she was physically attacked often. She was the grandmom's paycheck and punch a bag. Period. That's what she was. The grandmom's paycheck and punch a bag. That's exactly what she was. If any SA was happening, that may come out later. But as of where we stand at right now, the family does not know about that. The family knows about the young lady that was living there with the grandmom who was SA and was pregnant. The grandmom said the girl ran away. The family got the information that the girl didn't run away. She's missing and has been.
But I do believe that she has mentioned somebody touching her inappropriately.
Another young child that was staying there, that Kimani let somebody know that this child was unalived in that house, and they couldn't confirm that she was. They found the little girl unalived, bruised, beat and bruised. They cannot confirm that Dorothy had anything to do with it, but Kimani definitely let somebody know that Dorothy had something to do with it.
Now, I don't know how true that is at all. Like, goodness, like you would think this woman would have been under a prison, but you also would have thought with her record she wouldn't be a foster mother. So hey, it just seemed like, I mean, with a net, I was wondering, I'm like, is it a ring or something working at these places? Because how the heck how is this happening? How did nobody do their job? Nobody, the person, the school, the CPS, the police, nobody did their job. How does this happen and not be an organization?
No, she said that Dorothy did it. Oh, did? So why was she afraid? No, she said she did it. She did it. Oh, did it? Right. So Dorothy did it. She let somebody know this. So as far as the SA allegations, nobody has said that Kimani has told them that she was SA'd. They know that she was attacked often. The only SA we currently know about is during the time of her unaliving. Right. That's
and the nephew.
The only SA we know of is during the time of her unaliving. That's it.
Again, according to Tiara.
her when her own kids were taken. We have no idea how they happened. But I'll say this: we can't be confused.
They definitely gonna be able to get that DNA. Yes, sir. We gonna see how many DNAs is it? Sick.
How a lot of things happen when. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull it up. When her charges are like forgery, assault, all of these things, right?
Queen B. Dorothy hates her daughter's father or his family. You think that's why she's so mean to her daughter? I wonder, they don't know how many kids, like when she asked her, she didn't know how many kids she had. And so I don't know how many kids she has or how many baby daddies, but one of them is the one that the one they said that shot her in the leg in 2015, that hang out at her house, I guess, is a child's father. Her brother's father. I remember Tiara saying that that's her brother's father. Okay.
Her having a forgery up here itself lets me know that she can manipulate some things. She can manipulate some things. So it's something that she was able to manipulate. Did they do a DNA test during the autopsy? So they're going to be working on that. Of course, it's going to take some time. We're hoping that they expedite it. Other than Darnell saying that she had something to do with it, he apparently said that 2 other male individuals took part in it. So yes, we need that. Wait. Darnell said she had something to do with it, and it was 2 other males that took partake. They got involved. Did he say that? He said that, but he did not confess to doing anything himself. Right. They're saying that he did, but all that we know for sure is that he told them that that Dorothy had something to do with it, and there were others involved.
I'm not sure about you talking about this lady talking. Her name is Jessa. I don't know how many kids she has. She only brought up having a sudden infant SIDS child. So I'm not sure. Oh, Dorothy. She asked the question, but she didn't know. So I'm not sure. Family members don't even know. Like Tiara and Kat just met, and they cousins, and Kat didn't even know that Dorothy had another daughter. They didn't know where Kimani came from. Like what kid, mama, they just didn't know. So they not a tight-knit family. That's what Tiara said. Darnell's family, I wonder if Darnell is a foster himself. I wonder that. We ain't heard nothing about his family. So I wonder. He could have been a foster child, and he could have been in a bad foster home or something where you run away, then bye, you gone. Well, and never be connected again. Clearly, he has some stuff going on. That's just, I don't know though, y'all. That's just something. It's actually something that I thought about. Like, ain't nobody speaking up for him. When he was crying live and stuff, it was a cousin that popped in named Booter. Alleged cousin. Come on, man. If you passed out in the parking lot, pissy drunk, you probably don't have a lot of family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my thought, but I could be wrong. Because, like, you see people homeless and all that, and some of them, they just burned all their bridges, or they don't want help from the family, and they would rather be on the street than to help, or they not close. You just never know. I wonder what he was off when he did that. Some 211 and 4 locos. He had to be out of his mind. And he had a weapon on him. And the police put up on him because he fired the weapon. And when the police got there, they found him laid out in the parking lot with the weapon and all this stuff. Like, I think that was part 3. No, part 2 that I talked about that.
If he's going to say, I didn't have anything to do with it, the only thing I did was move her. Yeah, so during that interview that you're talking about, all this jazz and shy girl, in that interview that you guys are talking about, she also began to speak about grooming, and only someone who groomed somebody before would know what grooming is. Because even me being someone who was quote unquote determined to have been groomed, I still don't understand what grooming is.
You don't have to be a groomer to know what it is. You really don't. But I mean, you can be not familiar with certain terms, but and yeah, I don't agree with that.
And she got on the news and specified it.
But I do think it was highly suspicious that she got on the news talking about he was grooming her. Well, okay, ma'am, if he was, then why did you continue sending her with the man? Why? Make that make sense. And my question was, how long have you been knowing that he was doing this and continuing to send him over? She was always over there. Really?
How would you know that? So a lot of things are coming up that we are questioning ourselves. I didn't understand the grooming comment because it's like, so you took till right now to think that he was grooming her. So when you just kept having this man around her, you didn't feel like he was, like, what made you think now and then is different? Because you allowed him, Dorothy, to be around her. So if you felt like he was grooming her all this time, you were allowing it. Right. But another thing that points to other things is, how do you know what grooming is?
Trigger warning.
We don't understand that. Who is the lady with green eyes? Tiara has green eyes. Yeah, she does. The mother. What about the text message regarding the kidnapping that grandma received? We always believe that she sent them to herself. So I know I seen somebody was saying yesterday that the messages, she was sent the messages, but the screenshot we are all seeing is because she copied and pasted the messages, which didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. The 302 number, it just rings and rings and rings and rings and rings. We don't know whose number that is. It could be Google, you know those Google numbers that you get? The Google voice numbers? And it attached to your phone number, so you could text yourself from that. And then it just don't make sense. But when we call that number, we didn't have Kimani's phone number, but Tiara did buy her phone. And Dorothy ended up taking that phone from Kimani and replacing it with an Android to prevent communication. We don't know if it was coming from Kimani's phone to Dorothy's phone. We don't know anything.
Well, we was looking at these text messages yesterday, and that's what you see on the screen. So this message is just crazy because on my phone, I have an Android, and if I'm having a text conversation with somebody, mine is one color, and the person I'm talking to is a different color, and it has the times that we're communicating. This don't have none of that. This clearly look like somebody just texting themselves. It does, but yeah. Let me know what y'all think, and then. Let me see. Where's the other one? There's another one. Okay, so this one has a time on it. Where it's circled at. This is a legit time from the message thread. But in the screenshot, it has other times I think it's right on here. It's the time up there. I can't see it because it's covered on my end. But I think it's say 10:45. That's the time that they screenshotted. But yeah, and then you see calls and all this. I don't know what none of this stuff mean, who these people are, and they think that it's Dorothy doing it herself.
But we do know that the detectives are looking into it, and we did ask them to trace the IP address because, of course, it's going to give more information on where the device is, who the device belongs to, and we're all pretty sure it's going to lead back to Dorothy. If you notice the way that the quote-unquote, even in the other pictures that came out with the text messages where one side is gray, the other side is green, they speak in the same way. We all text in a certain manner. We all type in a certain manner and spell in a certain manner. It's all giving Dorothy. What's the justice look like when it comes to Dorothy for you?
Put her under the jail.
I want the mothers that's in here that's away from their children to get them. I want the mothers because I think the mothers will do her in faster than the men will do her the father.
Absolutely. In a women's facility, you will get dealt with faster than you would in a men's facility. In a men's facility, the men are not going to be told until a guard decides to tell them.
So I remember, so this right here, I ran across, this is something, this is a charge that he got when he was living in Columbus. So I heard them say on the news that he fled to Columbus where he used to live. And I wondered, when did he live there? And so the charge that he picked up was September of 2012 in Columbus. And it looked like he was carrying a concealed weapon or something. Yep.
Because they don't just release your information like that. But in a women's facility, baby, you ain't going in PC. They're going to put you in a dormitory.
And then this, it just looked like, I don't know. Do y'all know what this red thing is that they put out of his pocket? And then he got about 4 dimes laying out there. Maybe, let me put a video up. This is them when they was violating his pockets while he was laying there fading out pretty much.
Been in prison. I made some messed up choices in my childhood. One of my charges resulted because my little sister, my biological little sister, her baby was assaulted. Someone drove by and threw a cup of coffee in her baby's stroller. I went apeshit. I lost the last screw because I got 10 screws and 9 of them missing sometimes. So that last screw that I had there, I lost it. I kicked off my little heels and I ran up the block, chased the car up the block. She got there first, of course, went in the house. I banged on the door and told her to come outside. She didn't come outside. So I made my way in and I got everybody in the house, including her little brother, because you're not going to play with mine. And I will do the same thing behind Kimani. I thought that when they locked her up, they were going to lock her up for good. So I was going to take the Greyhound to Toledo and intentionally get locked up because this won't stay like this. I will make every movement. I will make every sick call if I hear that you want to move. And I will deal with you accordingly.
Do you think an arrest will be made on Dorothy and the others soon?
We're praying so, but we know that they are going to find stuff against her, for sure. And with the new agency's help from Philadelphia, they're also pushing to have her charged with reckless endangerment and child abuse.
Darla said she was never locked up. They stated they were protecting her. They were investigating her. And I said that in my live. I said, they're telling us it's for her protection, but I bet they are investigating her.
Dorothy is not in the clear. She is very much a suspect still. Dorothy is being investigated. They wouldn't handcuff you to take you into protective custody.
Well, they said that everybody, it's their rule that they hate to cuff anybody going into the back of the police cruiser. But
well, one thing I remember during that interview, Dorothy said that she asked them to take her down and handcuff her. And then at the end of the interview, the what's her name? Silver, she asked her again, so you asked to be handcuffed, right? And she was like, yeah. So if that's a lie, the police know that's a lie, and she looked like a liar.
I felt that she was being investigated. It's so many things going on. There's no way that they're not answering her questions. They are not going through her call logs. There's no way.
Yep.
Spray the house with lithium. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Lumino to make the
Lumino is shine.
It's so
spray the house with Lumino. They will determine, because it will light up like a Christmas tree, honey, if there's any signs of blood in that house anywhere. It don't matter if it's a drop of blood.
Now, if she was cleaning up when the police came with bleach, now they definitely should have did, if that's true. If she was making omelets and all that, because we heard Dorothy say on the news that when she got home, the stove was on, the gas, you could hear the gas. And one thing I remember Tiara saying, and she said, man, if that gas would have been on, because she said that would have meant the gas was on for like 45 minutes or an hour. Like that house would have blew off the block. She said, because my mother smoked like a dang chimney. And she would have 9 times out of 10, she would have had a cigarette in her mouth entering into the house. So that do sound highly suspicious if the gas was on that long and then you came home and you in there cooking omelets and all this. I don't know how true that is, but I heard what the woman said. She said that you could hear the gas, you could smell the gas. So yeah.
They will see that blood, and they still, even though they may have used bleach and stuff to clean it, they can still get DNA samples from that.
Hey, Teresa. Welcome in.
They will collect and they will find out. So that's what we've been asking them to do, to go in there, do a thorough search, and to spray the house and see if there's any blood that was attempted to be cleaned up. Somebody in the chat said, everybody please talk to your kids. I pushed it. So
Babies for Benefits, Regina said, shout out to the AFC podcast. She said, I think the granny was using this child for monetary gain in different ways. Dang, man.
Too. This was not something that people didn't talk to her about. They knew what the abuse that was going on. They reported the abuse that was going on. They tried everything to get CPS to go in there and take action. CPS failed this baby in so many ways. TPD was informed. The school and teachers, even some of her friends, filed police reports against her. And nothing was done. So the system failed her miserably. The system is corrupt, and I'm going to say this. I lost custody to my oldest son over a lie a few years ago.
Okay, so she got an older son. Okay.
And it tore me to shreds. I am just now regaining custody of my son. After years of being defamed and all of the such. So I learned this from experience. Again, you guys know about what I went through in my past, in my childhood. When I cried out for help, I was 4 years old. Nobody did anything. I was 17 when he went to prison.
Her own father.
I'm sorry. I was 17 when he went to prison. I was not put into foster care for certain and adopted out for certain until I was almost 18 years old. I was labeled the girl who cried wolf. I had to fight off
18. By that time you grown and there's no need to be adopted, right?
Bullies all my life and people telling me, hey, how did daddy's you know what taste? And I was not helped. And you know why? Because I was a troubled teen, abused. I was not.
Lord. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end that right there. I'm going to drop the link so y'all can go watch the rest of it. It is a whole hour left, y'all, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But I do want to go over a couple things here that I have written. So, yeah, so the cousin has said that, or Tierra said that Kimani, she tried to unalive herself in the car or like playing in traffic or something. She said, I don't know how true that is. But another thing that the cousin said, I heard her say this, that her mom moved before Christmas after her and Dorothy got into a fight over KEI'MANI, over her hidden KEI'MANI. You know, and then the daughter jumped on Dorothy too, or was about to. And so she moved because of that. Talking about Kat. She said that she never heard Dorothy call her by name. She would only call her Bees. That was her name. She moved out in January of 2022. And she said she tried to drag her down the steps or something. Okay, and that was the last time she seen KEI'MANI. I do believe she said in 2022. And the reason when she moved over there, it was 2021. She said her grandmother had passed away and she needed a place to stay. And her mother told her that her mother was staying with Dorothy at the time. And she told her that she could come over there. But Dorothy says she never told her that she could come over there. So it don't sound like that lasted a long time. And one of the stories she told was about this dress. And I forgot what the event was. But she said she had bruises on her neck, on her legs, arms, and had to wear a turtleneck to cover it and leggings with this dress on. So it's sick. And she did. I heard her say that she made reports. She made anonymous reports and regular reports and all of this stuff. And then Tierra says she suffered from like ADHD, mental illness. She says she took the bulk of the RAPE when they was in custody, and she protected her siblings and all this kind of stuff. So let me see. She showed up. Oh, they also said that Dorothy called off work that night. So I don't know. I would think that if that was something that she did, that they could have figured that out and arrested her or something. But I don't know. Maybe they want more. Maybe they want her to lead them to more information or more people. I don't know what the holdup is. Welcome in, Gab. How you doing? Shout out to Letitia. Thank you for coming in. Oh my God, poor baby. Yes, it's a lot, y'all. Dorothy called off work. Yep. So she definitely I heard Katrina say that she pulled the weapon on her. They believe that she was texting herself, the iPhone text thread. And she got an Android. And then yeah, that is her brother's dad that hangs out at the house. So we heard about the Family Dollar or the Dollar General bag that was found. We talked about that yesterday, but what's in evidence is a pillow and hair strands that they put out of that garbage. If y'all didn't check out the police report, that's also in the description box of this video. And you know, Dorothy, yeah, that's crazy. Hold on, let's see if there's anything that I didn't talk about. Oh, now this was a big one when they said that Dorothy had lost her dog. She lost her dog, right? She was posting flyers everywhere. This came Katrina was telling this story. She posted for 6 months looking for her dog. She was crying and everything. And she posted up until that dog got back home. The dog made it back home. So that definitely stood out. Because we ain't seen no tears. And then, so her phone, Kimani's phone, definitely would tell a story. Where do y'all think that phone is at? I believe they definitely hid it somewhere. So I don't want to make this. Oh, you found out a lot more, Miss V. Yes, it's so much. That police report was it was a shock to see what they confiscated. I would love to know whose vehicle that is. In my mind, I'm thinking, was it Dorothy's vehicle? What would make them take that vehicle and not his truck? Unless he was, I don't know what he was in, but I heard, oh, that was the last thing that I wanted to look at. Let me see. Because it talked about, let me see. So with the neighbor's camera, it was remember I said that Darnell, the neighbor had handed Darnell the camera and he was standing there on the porch. So Kat got up there real quick and stood by him and grabbed it. She said all he was saying was, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. So she said Sunday, wait, hold on. They watched the neighbor's camera. The SUV was parked with the headlights on. And that was the time of 1:21 and 2:20 a.m. the car leaves. Now remember, Darnell said that Kimani's last call was, she called him at 1:29, and again the last call was at 1:49, and the girlfriend called her like 5 times. So the 1:21 stuck out to me, because the neighbor is saying at 1:21 in the morning to 2:20, it was 2 men sitting in the vehicle. And at 11:57 a.m., 3 cars pulled up. It was Dorothy that pulled up, the dad and the cousin. They all pulled up at 11:54. And what stands out to me about 11:57 a.m., what stands out to me is the police report that said that they took the police was there at 11:55, And then he said 129. So that is not a coincidence. Okay? That is wild. But that is what is being said. So there, oh shoot, let me move this. Wait. I'm showing the police report again to show y'all what the time and dates are. That I definitely believe what the neighbor is saying about this camera footage. He literally said, oh, she called me out. I had a missed call at 129. He was asleep now. He was asleep. 129. And we got 121 as them sitting there they was there for an hour. He said he was there for an hour, but he said a different time. He was there for an hour from 121 to 220. Yeah. So I'm definitely believing that. The dad had the maroon truck, the cousin got the black one, and hell, I mean, do Dorothy got a Kia Forte? Because that's the card is in evidence. So that was the last part that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to go ahead and end it. Y'all also, please check out my playlist. You can find it in the description box of this video, or you can just go to the header. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all to my videos. Oh, shoot, I might not even have time to do that. But let's see. Are you a true crime sleuth looking to binge watch great content? Come on into my channel where I have a variety of videos, shorts, live streams, podcasts, playlists, members only videos, and also we have posts. Posts is a place where I share upcoming live streams, videos, calls to action, polls, quizzes, pictures, and ongoing conversations. Stand out and become a member with badges and special members emojis. Thank you for your like and subscription. Are you a true crime? All right, so thank y'all so much for tuning in. I gotta get up out of here. I will see y'all in the next video, and please hit notifications on the next video that pop up. Let me see what y'all saying. And please smack the thumbs up if you haven't. And shout out to the people on the replay. Y'all definitely give us life over here, getting the thumbs up and tuning in. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, y'all. Make this go viral.